life speaks. It speaks through struggles and success, through music and messages, the preconceived and the unexpected. Whether you are in the depths of the valley or in the midst of your mountaintop experience, everyone needs to be encouraged from time to time. Here we will share stories of strength, testimonies of triumph, verses of victory, observations, and information meant to touch the heart and uplift the soul, to keep you on your path of purpose and navigate this thing called life with power and authority. This is Andrea Hines, and I'm your host for When Life Speaks, here on ALH Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Streaming Inspirational Broadcast Network. I am glad you accepted the invitation to join us tonight. There's something in this broadcast just for you, and if it is going to be a blessing to your life, it will be to someone else as well. So share, tag, start a watch party, and invite someone you know to join us. Then turn down the volume of life and get ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to When Life Speaks. Good evening, listeners, and good evening to you, Francine.
And good evening to you, Dr. Andrea Hines.
She's so formal. We are glad that you have chosen to join us tonight. We're going to just have fun tonight. Sometimes it's just good. So a lot of times we have very definite things planned, and it's not that we don't have a plan tonight, but it's just kind of free flowing tonight. We just want to talk about some different things, and I'm glad that you all are with us tonight. Whenever Francina comes, we have what we call a little senior sidebar. We like to talk about things that are important to the senior population. And we always say that if you, it's not just for seniors, because the reality of it is anybody who has passed or gotten to the age of 50, the big 50, the grand AARP number. That we've been through some things, we've seen some things, we want to share some things. And anybody who is not there yet, it's always good information because, you know, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And a lot of times as we are talking about things, we realize that there were some things that we would have done differently coming up and growing into adulthood if we had known. So a lot of times we just didn't know. So we're going to have just a conversation, just a candid conversation, I like to call them. It's like you eavesdropping in the living room. You know, who was it? Some president, I think, used to have the fireside chats. One president, a president. Anybody who knows who that is, just put it in the comment section. But there was a president that had fireside chat. I want to say it was Roosevelt. That's because I read my history, not because I lived it. So before you go, you know, into the days of old, I see it coming. But we're just gonna. Who was FDR? See there? I could have won some money. Was anybody giving any money for that? Nobody. So, well, it's something good to know. Yeah. Next time you play trivia, you all will have the answer. Right. You'll know exactly what that is about. But tonight, we're just going to talk about what's coming. Not coming in terms of ALH broadcasting, in terms of the program, but this is just an interesting time of year. It's a time of year where for a lot of people, it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of joy. It's a lot of fellowship. friends and family and people getting together and all of that. And then for other people, it's not so easy.
True.
It's truly challenging because they have lost loved ones, and things aren't quite the same as they used to be. Got to do some things differently. We got Mr. COVID out there still dangling around, so we're not able to do a lot of the things that we would like to do, a lot of things that we have done in the past. But it doesn't mean that we can't have joy.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean that we can't have joy. Doesn't mean that we cannot reach out and bring joy into somebody else's life, which is what we are here to do. It's not all about us all the time. I know sometimes we think it should be, but the reality of it is we are here to help somebody else's journey, just like somebody is here to help ours. So we were talking about the last time we got together, we were going to do some things about health. We were going to talk about health and health issues and things we needed to remember, look into. And that's where we're going to start tonight. But as we were talking, we said we were just going to make this segment health and the holidays, because there are different things that you have to look out for in terms of your mental health, in terms of your physical health, in terms of your financial health. And neither of us are experts in these areas. We don't claim to be. We don't have PhDs. We don't have in these areas and with these topics. But we have lived long enough to know some stuff.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to share with you some of the stuff we know, and some of the stuff we wish we had known, and some of the stuff we'd like to know that we still don't know. So you just if you got a comment or whatever,
right.
just chime on in, put it in the comment section tonight. But I did want to start with, I think let's start with the healthy eating, because you had some information about dietary things and exercise things from the last time. So let's share those tonight.
And also too, because with the holidays and the good food that's coming up, we have to be careful. We have to be cautious in how we're eating, especially me, because Thanksgiving and Christmas with the pies and the cakes and the cookies and the candy and all that. We kind of overindulge, so we gotta think sensibly, because what happens after the holidays, what does it do to our bodies, besides add on pounds, we gotta look health wise.
That's right.
And so, with the diet, we're talking about like superfoods, healthy, balanced meals, get them vegetables, them greens, them vegetables up in there. A lot of people are doing vegan, or a lot of people are getting away from meats. But there are some meats that we need. We need some of those healthy fats. What do you think?
I don't think I can. Well, I'm not going to say I can't ever get away from meat. I don't choose to. But I can reduce the amount of red meat that I'm eating, because I know that it is not necessarily good for you. But I think, like you were talking about, you got to have balance. And I think every now and then you need some protein from good old fashioned red meat. Now, I don't know whether the vegans, that listen to the show would agree with that, but I know that your eating gets to be very, very important, because we have so many people that have high blood pressure and are you on medication?
Yes, I am.
Really?
Yes, I am.
Have you been on it for medication for a long time?
Yes, I have.
Really?
And also because it's also hereditary. It runs in my family.
Oh, okay.
But at the same token, I have to speak for me because of my eating habits. I'm doing a lot better. And they say once you get on it, it's hard to get off. But I feel that because of some of the lifestyle changes that I've incorporated, and with the lot of walking that I do, I know it has helped with my blood pressure, but also too your cholesterol.
Oh yeah.
Cholesterol,
good cholesterol and bad
bad
cholesterol.
and
right,
so I have to keep tabs on that because I'm also on cholesterol medication.
Okay.
You used to eat all, a lot of pork, because I grew up on it. Our families, that's what they cooked.
And I don't eat nearly as much pork as I used to. I still eat pork, but I don't eat it nearly as much as I used to. Angie had a good idea down there. She said sometimes I'll do meatless Monday.
Oh, that's good. That's a good idea. I like that also.
And sometimes we have to do some things strategically, and put some things in place so that it doesn't always feel like we're missing something. So I like that idea of doing it, and that's something that I can look forward to. I can look forward to a meatless Monday as opposed to saying I don't get to eat any meat this weekend. And I think that's we have to trick ourselves sometimes into doing things that are the right things to do. So that's pretty good. I like that. Anybody else got any ideas? You can shoot them up there in the comment section as well. Hey, good evening to you, Lynette. Glad to have you on the line with us tonight. We're talking about health in the holidays, and how we're going to stay healthy during the holidays. Now, for you, Francine, it probably would not be difficult because you have a walking regimen.
Correct.
You have an exercise regimen. Now, I'm trying to get on the chair thing, the chair exercises, and I like them. They're okay. They're okay. As long as I got some good music, they're okay. But I actually can say that I miss getting out and walking. I really do miss walking. When we were doing the 5K challenge at church, and I was up and I was out, it was still dark. And some of those memories will pop up, on Facebook sometimes. And I think to myself, I stayed disciplined through that whole series and managed to walk and really enjoyed it. My body felt better. And I'm trying to get back into it. But one thing is key, and that thing is you got to have the right shoes. Yes. You have to have the right foot gear. And so far, I have not discovered the right foot gear.
Have you tried New Balance?
No.
Because that is a very good walking tennis shoe.
Somebody said to go to, what's the place? Dick's Sporting Goods? To go to a store that specializes in athletic stuff and really have somebody fit you. And I think that's what I need to do because I've been different places and I like Skechers because they are lightweight, but I'm not sure the Skechers gives me what I need for my ankle support that I need as well. So I'm determined, though. I am determined that by January 2022, I'm going to have some good walking shoes. So I'm going to get out there because my step tracker thinks that I've just gone by the way. It has nothing to do. My step tracker has not been busy in the last couple of weeks, so I got to give my step tracker something to do. So I'm going to get on that. Let me see what Angie's saying. Yeah, she said the right shoes make a difference as well. And good evening to you, Victoria. Good to have you on the line tonight. Always glad to have you in the house. So we talked a little bit about. Was there anything else you wanted to share about healthy eating?
Also, I look at labels.
Okay.
And that's very good because it kind of gives you calories. It gives you what's per serving. Your sodium, because sodium is a big key. It talks about your
fats.
Yeah, the good fat, the good fat, the trans, the mono. And also your carbohydrates because and sugars because carbohydrates can also turn into sugar. So reading labels, knowing what you're taking in. Water is key because water helps flush out the toxins, in your body. But most
Mm-hmm.
our body is 90% water anyway.
Yep.
So we need the water, not the sodas, and flavored drinks, because remember, you're still putting sugar.
It's a lot of sugar.
So
and that's something else too, Francine. When you were talking about reading the labels, just because it is advertised as a healthy snack doesn't mean that it is.
Correct.
And that's why those labels really would surprise you sometimes. The things that are full of sugar and full of, which is the fat we shouldn't do, saturated
fats.
Yeah.
And trans fats.
That we're not paying attention to those things because it says on the label that it's a healthy thing, but we really need to not only know what's in there, but know what our body needs. There was a book out, I'm sure it's still out there somewhere, but the title of it is Eat Right for Your Blood Type.
Mm-hmm.
And things that you may be able, do you know what your blood type is?
Mm-hmm.
What's your blood type?
O positive.
I'm the same thing. I'm O positive as well. Now, if you're, what's another? A type A.
Mm-hmm.
Type A chicken may be really good for you, but it may not be good for a person that's O positive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get a hold of that book, Eat Right for Your Blood Type, you may be surprised, because some of the things that you think you're eating that you think are healthy for you aren't healthy for you at all. I remember one of the ladies at work, her diet was mostly chicken, chicken and fish. But for her blood type, chicken was not good for her at all.
Mm. Wow.
So sometimes we think we're eating healthy,
mm-hmm.
and we're really not eating healthy. Bernie said there are plant-based products that are similar to me. Okay, yes. And one product comes to mind is the Impossible meat that is plant-based. Is it actually called the Impossible meat, Bernice? If it is, just put it in the comments if that's actually the name of it, the Impossible meat. There are a lot of alternatives, and I think sometimes we've just got to try some things that are different.
Yeah,
and not get stuck in the same the same thing all the time.
I'm not good. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not good with change when it comes to food. I don't like trying, and I don't. And that's sad, because that's bad on my part, because it could be something that's really good and healthy for me, and I may never try it, but it just don't look good, it don't smell good, and my thing is I'm not tasting it, but I'm trying to turn that around.
Well, why don't you do something like Angie's doing? She's got a meatless Monday.
No, I can do that.
Take one day a week and try something different. Maybe try Thursdays. That'll be your thing. Try Thursday. Try something Thursday. But
I need to.
Yeah.
Because that helps me. But also know, when you read them labels, when you're looking at the packages, know that is per serving.
Yes. And know what that serving is.
Exactly, right. Because I got caught up one time. I was eating some chips, and it said 80 calories. And my mind, I was like, oh, this whole bag is 80 calories. And it was per serving. So I'm learning. Well, I've learned how to read my labels better. But we get caught up. We think, and like when they say 280 sodium, that's per serving. That's not the whole can.
Right.
So
right.
if there's 4 servings per that can, you say 280 times 4. So we got to really educate ourselves.
There you go. Got to educate yourself. And there are a lot of things out there, and a lot of ways to do that. Let's see, chemicals and preservatives are not good either. That's right, Victoria. We think sometimes, well, I'm just going to get a can of this and a can of that, and we think that we're doing something healthy because it's a can of green beans or a can of whatever it happens to be. But the reality of it is, those are the things that are full of salt.
Exactly, because the sodium is what preserves it.
Right.
That's why they say fresh. Even frozen vegetables
are better.
Yeah.
So we're going to do better. We're going to be doing better with our eating habits. with the holidays coming up.
Hold
And
each other accountable.
Impossible meat. I don't know, Pastor Kelvin. I'm looking
He's
for.
the same thing.
I'm waiting for Bernice to come
she
back.
Said it's called.
What she say?
What did she say? She said she put something on there. What it's called?
I don't. Lindsay, she don't want to sacrifice her
Impossible Burger.
Impossible Burger. The package says Impossible Burger. Who is willing to try the Impossible Burger? Pastor Kelvin, you gonna try it? I'll try it if you'll try it.
I'm not gonna try.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Bernice, that's the challenge that's out there. I am going to try the Impossible Burger. I'm gonna let you know what I think about it. I'm putting it in my notes now.
And what's beyond meat? What's that? Victoria's got Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat. There's something called Beyond Meat. Impossible. I'm gonna try the Impossible Burger. I don't know if I'm ready for Beyond Meat yet, but I'll try one thing at a time. Oh, Lynn said she's heard of it and it's good. You've heard of which one? Beyond Meat or the Impossible Burger? Which one have you heard of, Lynn? And Victoria. She says it's not bad. Okay. I have already. It's pretty good. But Linda says I'm like Mikey. Oh.
But look what Angela said. She said she have already. It's pretty good. But Linda says I'm like Mikey.
Linda said you eat anything. Okay. I don't know. But I'm gonna try it.
You know what?
I will give you a report.
I'm gonna try it also.
Okay.
Now you try one and I'll try the other.
Okay, I'm gonna try the Impossible Burger.
And so the other one is
some kind of meat. Something.
What's the other one? Impossible Meat.
Is it Beyond Meat? Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat.
Mm-hmm. Up there, Victoria said Beyond Meat. So you
I'm gonna try Beyond Meat. I promise. I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try the Impossible Burger, and I will give you an honest opinion.
How you cook it?
I'm gonna try it and see. Okay, let's move on to, because we wanted to hit another one at least tonight. Health and the holidays. We want to talk just real quickly about mental health and staying mentally healthy and helping others stay mentally healthy during the holidays. Like we said in the very beginning of the program, this is not always a happy time for people. There are people who have lost loved ones, lost them suddenly, lost them due to COVID. And it's one thing to lose someone, but it's another when you cannot be with them, when you're restricted from being with them. I think that puts another weight on it. Thing is that we make it fresh. Adding the salted meat doesn't help. Adding seasonings to the thing, the seasoning that you add to the things that you are cooking. Absolutely. Thank you, Lynn. That's a good tip on that too. We got to be careful about that. But back to the mental health. During this year particularly, I challenge us to adopt somebody. Either adopt a family, adopt a senior, adopt somebody that you intentionally look out for during the holidays. I know there was a senior that I always invited to Thanksgiving and to Christmas because they tended not to spend those holidays with family. So I made sure that I got in touch with them, and we would have games and things that we would do, when we had family dinner, and we do games and stuff after that. And I've kind of gotten away from that, and I want to get back to it. We think about the children a lot in terms of doing Angel Tree Network and things like that, making sure they have a toy, making sure that they have a gift, making sure that they have coats and things, whatever it is that they need. But there are other needs out there. And we just have to be sensitive to it. We just have to be attuned to it. And I was thinking today, one of the things that we need to do is be especially attentive when we're talking to people. If you notice a change in their behavior, if you notice a change in their conversation, take a little extra time.
Mhm.
Take a little extra time, sit with them, visit with them, call them,
Mhm.
inquire about how they're doing, how they're feeling, and then don't brush them off.
Right.
Because that's what happens sometimes. We ask people how they're feeling, and if they hesitate too long, we're out. So glad, okay, glad, I'll call you.
Mhm.
I'll get in touch
Mhm.
with you, but no, actually take the time, actually listen, ask some probing questions if you think that something may not be right. And when the prayer request comes, pray. Don't do it later.
Good
Don't
night.
do it
Right then and
the
there.
next day. Don't, but pray. Prayer is powerful, and prayer is very, very important, particularly now.
Mhm.
So cover people by the blood, cover them, take time with them, spend time with them, pay close attention, and be sure to adopt somebody. I'm available for adoption. Somebody can, somebody can adopt me. I'm low maintenance, I promise.
You don't want that
I
me.
promise.
You don't want that me.
I promise I'm low maintenance.
Well, yes,
I won't take up
yeah.
much time. I promise I won't. But seriously,
But yeah,
guys,
That's true.
this is a time where a lot of people are depressed, and it's not always lost. Sometimes it's just we have a hard time adjusting with this time difference.
Ooh, yes.
And
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but all I just feel like when I get up, I feel like it's midnight. I mean, it just I don't know what it is, but the days seem to be long, 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 and it makes a difference. It makes a difference. I think it is. mm, I don't know whether it's Alaska. I want to say it's Alaska, where they have like 6 months of darkness,
Alaska.
and they talk about the suicide rate going up during that 6 months. All of the different things that happen that are just detrimental to
Mhm.
people, and it's because of that lack of light. The lack of light. Light makes a difference. The light and love of Christ makes a difference. Natural light makes a difference. So let's be careful about that and be. Oh, that's what it is. It's called seasonal affective disorder. SAD. That's the thing. Seasonal affective disorder. Thank you for that, Victoria. I didn't know anything like that existed. But I tell you what, there are a lot of things out here that are affecting us, that we don't pay any attention to. We really don't pay any attention to, and we've got to be more aware of each other, more aware of our surroundings, more aware of changes in attitudes and changes in behavior and things like that. And we can make a difference. Just talking to somebody can make a difference. We can't hug like we used to hug, can't touch like we used to touch, but we can still reach people. And that's what we got to remember. We can still reach out to people. We can still check on them. There's nothing like, I just love it when I get a text message or I get a call or something and somebody says, just checking on you.
Yeah, it makes a
checking on
difference.
you, and we got to do that. Keep ourselves mentally healthy and keep those emergency numbers handy. We don't really think about it. But there are suicide hotline numbers, there are domestic violence numbers. Keep those numbers handy because we're not necessarily made to fix the problem, but we can get you to the people who can. There's somebody, there it is up there now. National Suicide Prevention Hotline. 1-800-273-8255. Wherever it is that you put those phone numbers by your phone, whether it's your phone in your kitchen, phone, your bedroom phone, wherever, then be sure that
I
you
need
do
to
that.
write this down myself.
1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. I know one of the programs that we had on a while back, and somebody put in the comment section, I need help. I need help. And the host uh, sent them something back in the comments, and after the program, reached out to them, and they were suicidal. So she was able to get them some help. Now, it would have been very easy to say, "Oh, I'll pray for you," and just kind of move along. But I think when somebody on a program takes a moment and takes the time to say, "I need help,"
Mhm.
we have a responsibility
Yes.
as
Yes.
people of God to help, to do something to help. Yes, Angie says we need the light. I have to make myself get out, and I intentionally check on others. It helps me to check on them. It helps you to check on somebody else. You are so right, and we don't realize that all of the time. And I'm kind of like you, Angie, and I tell people who are close to me, um, if I am sleeping a lot, something's wrong. Because that's how I deal when I start
Spiraling
spiraling
down.
down, when I start getting into a place of depression or whatever. I go to bed. I will go to bed, and it's like I think that when I sleep like that, when I get up, it'll be gone. The problem will be gone. The issue will be gone. The situation will have changed, but it hasn't.
Mm.
It hasn't. But I know that's my trigger. That's
Yeah.
the good news. I know that's my trigger. So people that I know well, I will always tell them, if you can't reach me, and I'm not busy at meetings or writings or doing something like that, and somebody tells you she sleep,
Okay.
that's trouble for me. That's trouble for me. And sometimes we got to know what our triggers are.
For me, and I'm just realizing it, because my thing for myself was like, I don't get depressed. I'm
Yeah.
good. But I've noticed if I don't want to get out of bed because I'm wanting to get up, because I want to go out and I don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, Francine, what's wrong? And I start trying to look at things that's going on around me to see if I could pinpoint. But I'll never say that I'm depressed. And maybe that's a denial on my part. But I've noticed that within the last couple of weeks, there were a couple of times I'm like, what's wrong? Why I just want to stay in the bed underneath the covers
And
and don't want to be bothered.
Sometimes I don't think it's as important what you call it as much as it is that you are aware of it and shift the behavior.
Yes.
I think that's the thing, that you shift the behavior. And I look back, and sometimes it's really interesting when Facebook shows you these things, and they just kind of pop up from uh, years ago, 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and the things that you posted at that time that were encouraging, or the things that you were going through at that time. And we have to have our own self-analysis, our own self-checks, our own way of saying, you know what, at this I'm not feeling right. I'm not feeling good. I know that there's something, if I wake up, and I'm not trying to be deep and spooky or anything, but I know that when I wake up, or if I am during the day and there's nothing really going on, and I begin to pray in the spirit and weep, I know that I need to just continue to pray, because something is going on somewhere. Something is happening with someone, and I think it was I know it was one of the generals of the gospel that said, "Be sensitive to the subtle suggestions of the spirit." So I've learned not to dismiss so easily things like that, because something is happening. Something is happening, and God's in control of it. He knows what he wants to do about it. But if he is using you in that moment, let him use you. Yield. I had somebody call me today and said, "Pray for me," and I just stopped right then and began to pray and prayed in the spirit, because I don't have to know what's wrong. I really don't have to know. Yes, it is good sometimes to have the intentional prayer. But if I'm praying in the spirit, that's the God within me talking to the God above me, and he knows. He knows, even if I don't. I don't want you to call me and say, "Pray for me," and I'm praying for you for $1 million, and you really wanted some cookies. That's a misplaced prayer. I could have been praying for some Oreos, and you could have had them and been on about your business. But we want to be sure that we are paying attention. Just takes a minute to pay attention. Doesn't take, and you don't have to. The prayer doesn't have to last all day.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a clip of a young man. Something had happened at a graduation. Somebody got news of something. I don't remember what the situation was, but the young man said 3 words, and it just took everybody, just took him out. And he said, "Jesus, fix it."
Mm. That's it.
That's all he said.
That's it right there.
That's all he said.
Right
Jesus,
there.
it wasn't a thus, them,
Mm-hmm,
thou,
mm-hmm.
they saith. That wasn't any of that. He just said, "Jesus, fix it." Sometimes that's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Let me see. We got a few more minutes. I want to talk real quick. Did you want to say anything else about mental health? Okay. I wanted to talk real quick about financial health in this season. This is a dangerous season for your financial health.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, be careful of your spending habits during this season. We tend to spend more money than we need to spend buying things that we don't need to buy for people we don't even like. Sad but true.
Mm-hmm.
Sad but true. There are some people that will be in debt for half of 2022.
That's true.
Trying to buy things in 2021 that they didn't need to buy.
That's true.
That they did not need to spend money on. And this is not the time for that. We've got to be wise. We have to be wise in our budgeting. We have to be wise in our spending habits, even in the little things. Like for me, please do not let me go into the grocery store hungry.
Oh.
Little things. Yeah. You don't think that stuff makes a difference.
It does.
But it does.
It does.
It does. Now, my daughter, Lynn is a grocery shopping guru. She can go to the grocery store. She can tell you usually within a few dollars how much she's spending. We'll get to the register. Mm-hmm. She said, "Mom, how much you think I spent?" I said, "I don't know. I'll say, $40." And she'll say, "No, I think I spent $50." And it'll be like $50.30 or something like that. I mean, she's just good. She's just good with doing it. I am not. I can spend $40 and come home and not have anything substantial to eat. I'm thinking, what am I doing? So for me, I need a list. For me, I need to know exactly and be disciplined to go in and get what I want and get what I need and get what's on that list and come out. Pass by the sale. Pass by I should get 3 of these. Mm-hmm. And that's why couponing didn't work for me very well. Because I tended to use my coupons not on the things that I would buy normally or already have, but I'd buy something because I could buy 2 and get 1 free. And it wasn't something I even needed or something that I used regularly. So you got to be aware of your spending habits, especially now, because there may not be gatherings like there used to be during the holidays when we weren't dealing with COVID, but the temptation is still there to spend more than you need to spend. So get yourself on a budget. If you only do it for the holidays, that's the start to take you into the new year.
Well, I'm good at budgeting.
You are?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome.
Always have been.
Really?
Always have been. Yeah, I'm very good at budgeting.
Wow.
I have a log. I have a book. And I have everything in the book, all my bills, how much was due, so I know what's going out, because I already know what came in. So that I know, what I can spend. And as far as grocery store, the only reason why I use a list because I tend to forget,
Oh, okay.
the main things. But I kind of know what I want, and I don't
go in there from it too much. Yeah,
no,
I'm bad with that.
I don't, and so I'm thankful of that, And I like to buy a little extra, but I take my stuff out of my packages. I like to buy family packs so I can
split it.
Yes,
split it down.
And I put them I put them in Ziploc bags and label them. So so I'm
now,
really good with them.
Do you have a separate freezer? Other than your freezer and your refrigerator,
you have a deep freezer. Yes.
You do. Okay. People that have do seem to do better. If anybody out there has a deep freezer and you can say that it helps you, just put it in the comment section, because I think that when you can catch a sale, when you can take a larger pack and proportion it out, that you tend to spend less. You tend to spend less. Because if you can catch it when it's on sale and freeze it and put it aside and use it when you need to use it, then you're not tempted to buy things when they're at a higher price. So if anybody out there has got an extra freezer or uses a deep freezer in addition to their regular refrigerator freezer, just put it in the comment section if you find that is a help to you. So budgeting, overspending, staying within your budget. Last thing. Yep, this will be the last thing that we want to talk about tonight. Beware of scams.
Ooh.
Particularly in this season. Let me tell you, these folks are busy. I got something in the email. Be careful of those things that are telling you it's the last day for you to get this, or you're being charged for something, or you're going to get a prize, call this number or whatever. If it is not a number that you recognize, do not deal with it.
Right.
Erase it, delete it, whatever. There's a lot of things that are coming through your text messages now. And let me tell you, you don't want to call those numbers. You don't want to call those numbers back. I got something the other day in my email, and it said, "Thank you for responding. This is we received your confirmation for $400 and some life lock thing, and it's a fraud thing." And it had highlighted, if this is not you, or if you want to cancel this, call this number. Don't call those numbers. I'm telling you, do not call those numbers. I got 3 of those notices. I didn't respond to any of them. Haven't had anything happen since. So beware. And the biggest one that catches you right now is people calling and saying that they are from your bank, that there has been suspected fraud on your account, and they have just enough of your account number so that when they read it to you, like you'll say the last 4 digits are 0609, and they'll say that to you, and you'll say, "Oh no, it's 0608."
Right,
and they got you.
Yeah,
they have got you. So be very, very careful. If you are not sure, don't do anything. If it is coming from AT&T, I get a lot of those. If it's coming from your bank, if it's coming from somewhere that you don't normally shop or normally do anything with, call your banking institution, let them know what you have seen. But whatever you do, do not respond to those numbers that you do not recognize.
Yes, I've got some from the post office, from Amazon, that I ordered, and I know I didn't order anything, and they need me to confirm. I've got something, matter of fact, it was just a message with a link to it and a number for me to call. And I said, I immediately erase it. I said, because I don't know. But another thing what we need to do is also, if you got elderly parents, or relatives or somebody that check on them, because they are getting them bad. A friend of mine, mother, they were, every time she look around, her mother lived in Virginia by herself. Well, they had to go in there and now trying to get her to a senior place because they have scammed her out of thousands of dollars. I say set up an account for them with your name on it so that you get alerts if anything unusual or a certain amount is being drawn out. Because this is holidays, Christmas, when you got them calling and saying a family member needs some money, they need to pay their rent, or they need, they come up with
a lot of stuff.
And it's so believable. If you don't know any better, if you don't question. So
and I'm going to say this too, not just from a senior perspective, but period. We're so secretive. We're so private. We don't want anybody to know what we're doing. We don't want anybody to know what's happening, and sometimes you need to let somebody know what's going on. If you are not sure of something, call somebody else and ask them. Call somebody else and ask them and just say, I got such and such the other day. What do you think? Or I think the thing is snopes.com. Snopes.com. Snoops. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a scam alert site. So you can go there, and whatever it is that you think might be a problem, you just ask about it, and it'll surely tell you. I had almost gotten hung up on a secret shopper thing because I knew people who were secret shoppers, and I thought, okay, this is a good way to make a little bit of extra money. And I, responded to the thing, and they told me where the secret shopper thing was going to be and where I had to go, what I had to look for. Went through this whole thing. And then it said, what we're going to do is send you or put some money in this account. And we want you to pull it out, put it on this card, and deposit it into a different account. I said, anything that wants me to give you money, so that I can get some money, is not good. And I went on to that fraud alert, and they told me, yes, it was a scam, what areas they were targeting, what stores they were targeting, and the whole thing. So we got to be careful during this holiday. We got to look out for each other during this holiday. Yeah. Now, Angie, you work for a bank. So she said, yes, we get those a lot. So you know exactly what we're talking about with these scams and calls and everything. So look, guys, this
one more thing while we are out there. Safety.
Oh, yes.
When you're going out, have your keys in hand. If you go into your car, look around you, your surroundings. Look and see if there's cars. Anybody could be underneath, around it. Do not sit in your car. When you come out of stores, you get in your car and drive off. Because people are out there, they're watching you. They're looking at people coming out of the stores, and especially now because of the holidays. Please, safety, because there's a lot going on out here. They robbing people, they stealing, and they just don't care. They don't care. So please be careful out there shopping.
And if you can, don't go by yourself.
Online.
If you can drag somebody with you, drag them.
Online, y'all. That's online.
Better be safe than sorry. That is for sure. Well, look, guys, we have come up on our time tonight. I hope you got something out of this conversation that Francina and I had. We have a good time when we get together. I don't know what we're going to talk about the next time, but I know this: if you have a topic that you would like for us to explore here on When Life Speaks, be sure that you send me an email to speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. That's speaklifewithandrea@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you, love to explore some of the topics that you have. And I'm not going to say, because I'll get off and then we'll be on here for another 30 minutes. So come back the next time. Maybe I'll talk about it then. But I thank you for being with me tonight. I thank you, Francina, for coming back and sharing this time with me. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And like I say, we got a lot coming up, a lot going on, a lot of people in very strange places, and anger, anxiety, and all kinds of things are taking hold during this season. Be a little more patient with people. Mm-hmm. Be a little kinder.
Yes.
Make sure that you are taking care of folks as best as you can, and remember the light and love of Christ. Yes. God loved us. Let's love somebody else. Yes. And give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes. So that's it for us for tonight. Again, thank you for joining us, and be sure to come back next week. I'm going to be here next week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
I'm not, but I'll be on the other end where y'all at.
That's right. But won't be long. She'll be back again. But thank you all. Thank you. Have a restful night tonight. Yes, I look forward to seeing you right here next week at 7 p.m. Be ready to receive, so that when life speaks, you'll speak life.
Good night, everybody.